Listen closely. The views discussed in this podcast are solely those of the hosts. Audience discretion is advised.
All right. Welcome to an all-new episode of the Winning Podcast. I'm Luigi.
And I'm Caleb.
You know, we've been doing this for a while now. This is episode 75. Welcome to returning listeners and new listeners. And I'm realizing why people wear sunglasses in interviews, bros, because these lights are kind of bright.
Yeah.
Like last time we recorded, I had a headache sitting through the entire thing. And it was just unbearable. Like, I was ready to wrap up podcasting because I was like, these lights are legit too much.
Yeah.
Granted, we took a break on recording before that, so we obviously lost, being adjusted to them or whatever. But man, we either got to upgrade them or I got to wear sunglasses every time we record.
Yeah, we need to get something a bit more muted, you know? Like, we need to get those umbrellas.
Yeah.
So that it can block a little bit more of the light. Because
That
we're getting
might-
just, like, raw LED right now.
Yeah. I mean, I guess they came with those covers.
Yeah, but
We
those
just
are
never
like
used them.
those are like color covers.
No, they had some clear ones. I think we just never used them.
Oh, hey, maybe we should try that out then.
Yeah, we might try that out. Because you're right. Like, it's just beaming.
Yeah.
It's a lot. But anyways, new week, new topics.
Nope, just one.
Yeah, that's this one. Did I already say welcome new and whatever?
I think you did.
Yeah. So let's get right into it. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm out of the sling, not by doctor's orders. I'm just tired of it. I'm sure I'm doing something wrong or too fast, but this is my body. But it does hurt sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to get into the doctor, and they're like, yeah, we just didn't get that referral. And I'm like, yes, you did.
Yeah.
Like, I was there when they sent it the first time, and I was on the phone when they sent it the second time. And I was there when we called you with my doctor to ask if you got it. Why is it like a whole nother week? And you
Yeah.
can't see me. And yeah, it's annoying, but hopefully I don't have to get surgery by the time they get around to it. Maybe I can just go to like the chiropractor or like a acupuncturist or something.
Yeah, that just sounds painful. It sounds like there's a lot going on with that.
It is a lot going on. It feels like my shoulder is grinding on itself. Like
Damn.
just about every time that I reach for something or like I do like an abnormal motion, it's a lot.
Yeah,
But I'm recovering,
Yeah.
kind of.
I hear all scabbed up and nasty looking on camera.
Hey,
Oh
I'm
my
going to cut
gosh.
that out. Don't worry.
That's crazy. Well,
How about yourself? How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I feel like summer's in full effect. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Summer's in full effect. Everyone's a little bit nicer, friendlier.
It's hot.
Might have to go back to work soon. Which is great news, but at the same time, I'm like, man, it's been kind of nice. So yeah, summer's been good. I think what I'm looking to do, I'm probably gonna move, find a new apartment, find some new scenery. So we'll see what that kind of looks like. I'll probably, try to be out a little bit more, try to do some more stuff. But as far as I'm doing, as far as I'm feeling, I've been feeling good. I've been playing a lot of FIFA still. Uploading that to, the YouTube channel, live streaming, which I tried to live stream yesterday I did live stream for 2.5 hours, which I guess by today's standards is kind of like rookie numbers, which I am, so it's whatever. But the microphone wasn't working for 2 hours and 20 minutes of it. So it's just very long footage of me playing FIFA. The commentary from the game itself was still live. It's just that I spent the entire 2 hours talking, but nothing got picked up. I was doing celebrations. I was shouting stuff. I was having a good time. None of it got picked up to the last 8 minutes, which stellar 8 minutes if I, do say so myself. But
Oh my gosh.
so that's been really fun because it's something I've always wanted to do. And I think I've finally gotten over the concept of, well, what if nobody watches this? Because I don't care. You know what I mean? I want to do it for myself. So two things I got out of that experience. Ethernet Wi-Fi is just the best.
Yeah.
Or Ethernet
Internet.
internet connection is the best. Even though I was live streaming, doing just 2.5 hours, I had better gameplay, and the gameplay mechanics were still extremely smooth, and there was no lag as compared to today. I wasn't even streaming today, and I got on, and everyone knows FIFA mechanics, or they're either working or they're not when you're online. And the shit was mad slow. You know what I mean? So it was really good to know I had really good internet and I can continue streaming. I don't have to up and pay any more money. And second, I really enjoyed it. I didn't think I'd be able to talk for the entire 2.5 hours, even while I was playing, but I did. So I was like, okay, again, this is something I can really do. It was kind of a test, but yeah, I've been experimenting with stuff on, solo content creation, pursuing solo hobbies and doing whatever else. So I'm feeling good.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just that time of the year. So, yeah. I don't have a girlfriend, so I have a lot of free time. Yeah, ain't nobody calling me up to tell me we got to go and do something. So I'm like, what else could I spend?
Hey,
Yeah,
honestly,
you know what I mean?
we gotta get back to the water.
Yeah.
I think that's the only thing that we're missing right now is we haven't been to the water very much this summer.
That's
so
true.
far.
But I feel like a lot's happened.
Yeah, that's
You know what I mean?
Every time that we would have gone to the water, something has happened.
Yeah, and I think it's also one of those things we got to grow the friend group, because the person that I know with the boat is in Bellingham. That's far. And I'm not going to make that trip every time or every weekend that I want to go be on a boat.
The person I know with a boat, their boat is in Chelan, so that's also way too
Yeah.
far to just be hop, skipping, and jump.
And it's obviously there are boat rentals, but I don't really want to go that route. So maybe,
Once again, invite us on your boat.
yeah.
I'm gonna be real with you.
But you got to be like close to Seattle.
I'm gonna be dead ass with you guys. It's not that we can't rent a boat. We don't want to.
Yeah. No,
Like-
I really don't.
And-
I was
and-
hella.
Man, and sometimes they be like, you got to still have a boating license. I'm not trying to deal with that. Just
No,
for like
see,
the
bro,
one occasion.
The other part I'm also not even trying to deal with is putting. It's like you
Yeah.
gotta put gas in the boat when you're bringing it back, bro. I'm not. You think
I
know-
don't know how to put gas in a boat.
And I'm pretty sure it's
I'm not
straightforward.
ignorant, but-
yeah, I'm sure it's one of those gas tank put the thing in here, or put the nozzle in here.
Here's
I'm not
the problem.
doing that.
It's not my boat.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to be on the boat and drive it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I didn't want to do any of that crazy shit.
I need to make a Kodak Black TikTok real quick. Let me drive the boat, and that's it. I'm done.
For real. So, yeah, no, I agree. It's not that we can't make the boat happen. It's really not that expensive, but
And it would also
then they
be
tell
way
you,
cooler if y'all made it happen.
they
for
know,
us.
but they tell you how many hours do you want,
What
you
if I go
can't-
longer?
And then they'll tell you you can't take any speakers on the boat because they already have speakers, and there's just a shady little speaker. There's always a lot of rules and things you can and can't do on the boat, as compared to just being out with friends who own a boat. And if we get lost in the waters, for anyway,
I'm not trying to actually get lost
I'm
in the
not
water,
trying to
and
get
we'll
lost in the
talk
water
about
either.
that later.
You know how
but
traumatizing that is. Actually, one of my worst fears.
yeah, with
Easily.
nowhere to go, absolutely not.
Like people all the time are like, "Would you ever go to space?" And I'm always quick to be like, "Yeah, of course." But being in water for extended periods of time, nah, bro, I'm cool. Like, and I mean, there's a lot of historical trauma when it comes to water and black people too. So let's not even get into that.
Dead. Oh
But
my
anyway,
gosh.
so yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Things are looking up. You know what I mean? It's that time of the year for things to look up, and obviously I'm looking at apartments, so we might be relatively neighbors again. I'm definitely trying to move closer to the city, trying to go immerse myself in some different cultures, if you know what I mean. But yeah, things are looking good. It's good to be back on podcasting again, continuously, and working on that, which I still got to go and split up last week's episode, and then now this one as well whenever it's ready. So things are good. Things are looking up.
Yeah,
You're
my
a little,
birthday is
you're a
coming
little
up.
down bad right now, but
Ah,
things are looking up.
I'm a lot better. I'm physically totally fine now.
Hey, see?
In my mind.
You keep saying things in
And-
the podcast that is taking you out of the space to win a lawsuit.
Oh my
And
gosh.
I don't know why you do that. Earlier, you were like, yeah, took my arm out of the sling on my own accord. Yeah, that's your doctor being like, yup, ain't got nothing with me.
Hey, man.
Now you're
here's the
talking
thing.
about physically, I'm perfectly fine. You're not going to
Physically-
win any money.
I'm not trying to sue anybody.
Yeah, but you should be.
Everybody
You
keeps
should
saying
be.
that. There's nobody I can sue.
You'd be
Honestly,
so
this was
surprised.
this was my fault.
You'd be so surprised how easy you could win money. Because let me tell you, right? So I just read this article, which we're going to talk about Starbucks later on. But a couple years back, I don't know if you remember, Starbucks had this lawsuit where these two black guys were racially profiled.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
and-
talked. I don't know. If
No, we didn't talk about it.
Pod,
'Cause
but
I know we didn't talk about it because I
Yeah.
didn't know. Apparently, these niggas, I gotta call them that. I just got to, because I'm upset with them. They went to court, could have won a lot of money, and they settled on $1.
why?
$1, and I guess to also have whoever was being racially and whatever
Insensitive.
fired. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know that. That is very upsetting because there are very, very few situations in life where you go up against a very big company with a lot of money who will pay you a lot of money to just settle it. And to find out you only took $1 when we're owned acres and a mule, it's kind of ridiculous.
And so here's the thing that's even crazier about that story. And this, yeah, you're right. We didn't talk about this. I remember talking to Kylie about it. But so what's even crazier about that, I didn't know that that's what they asked for, but them asking to have the person in charge fired, they did fire the person directly in charge and their boss. And their boss countersued Starbucks for $28 million.
And won. That's what I was getting to. I'm
so stupid. And she was white. Bro,
So, yeah.
they literally allowed a white woman to make more money off of their situation.
And she literally said, I'm suing because I got fired because I'm white.
Well, yes, exactly.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And
Wow.
which full
That's
disclosure,
crazy. Everybody's
kudos to her.
stupid. Yeah.
Kudos
well,
to
yeah,
her.
not her. She's
yeah,
great.
She made a
Good for
bag out of
her.
that because which is what you do in those situations.
Why would you?
Because Starbucks having to go on a whole "we're sorry" campaign was them
We're
admitting
sorry.
guilt, so she was able to be like, "See, it wasn't my fault. That was just company culture." But
That's crazy.
again, good for you. I'm sure after taxes, you might be left with a cool 14 mil. But girl, I wish I was in that position. You know what I mean? My boy.
Nah, man. at her position, I can almost guarantee you the settlement was like, yeah, no, you're not paying me that all at once. You pay me over the course of the next 10 years.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah,
they shave less taxes off all at once every time.
I keep telling everybody that. The minute you win a large lump sum of money, ask for it in increments.
Yep.
Because they can only tax what you're getting. They can't tax what you ain't got.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Future me is a millionaire.
Yeah, absolutely.
However, right now when I'm getting taxed, it's at a middle class level. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
I'm gonna be like, yeah, you guys can pay me a cool 200,000 of that a year until we reach 27 million. Oh my God, you'd have me for life.
Yeah, bro.
Oh
listen,
my God.
Listen.
Ah,
So again, kudos to her. I'm not even hating on that. Obviously, she's a terrible person. You can't be out here racially profiling anyone. But she made a bag.
and that's the thing. She didn't. It was her subordinate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
whoever made the bag made a bag. What I want to address though is, when we're dealing in some situations, morality doesn't really exist, right? Obviously, take that however you want, take that with a grain of salt, whatever. But when I'm in a position where I'm just chilling and you want to come out of your way and ruin my day, I am not walking away with $1.
No,
Not when it's Starbucks.
I'm ruining your day.
And I don't even want to ruin anybody's day. I really will end the look, we can keep this cool. We ain't got to do no press. I don't even have to say, well, that's Starbucks. Just write the check. We can keep it that simple. I'm never going to tell you, no, what I want is for us to all move forward as a group. I'll take $1 and no. Because you know what you can do? You can you can take a $28 million check and really be an activist.
Yeah, bro.
You
that's
know what
I'm
I
like.
mean, big dog? You could really take that big check and really do what you got to do with it then.
That's insane to me.
Taking $1 and it's not about the money. It is about the money.
Yeah.
It's,
Why you wouldn't be in this situation if it wasn't about the money?
Yeah.
What are we
You think we're
talking
just in
about
this
here?
in this courtroom suing each other because it's not about money? You don't think Starbucks would have lost a lot of money if they got the reputation of being a racist company? It's extremely about the money. You know what I mean? And again,
It's
if
the
we're
only
talking
thing it's about,
morality,
actually.
if we're talking morality, what's more? What is there a bigger morale than me getting a bag and feeding the community? Is there?
I have no. Yeah.
And there's two of
I'm
them.
like-
they could have each gotten a bag
I
and
think that's
both
like-
been an activist.
That's like the most discouraging thing that I've heard today. Like, I'm like,
A
man,
fucking dollar, bro?
really?
I got
Anyways.
that. You know what I mean? That,
Yeah, bro,
I think
I
that's
would
what's
have given it
upset
to
with
you.
me.
The manager themselves would have given it to
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
they would.
At that point, go home. Do the whole news run, but go
Yeah.
home. There's no lawsuit.
I'm just mad.
Yeah. So again, obviously, to each their own, and I'm sure they had their own reasons that I don't agree with. To only take $1 and let Starbucks go about its way, but man, you know, it's one of those things, right? You see the caution wet floor sign, and you go, Obviously,
One of my favorite videos was like, it was I think it was at a restaurant. This person like walked by a puddle of water
Mm-hmm.
and like tapped it, tested it, looked around, and then just like intentionally slipped in it. And I was like, yes,
yeah.
this is the
Yeah.
way.
And this isn't me. I just want to make sure we're clear on this. I'm not giving any fault to Starbucks, right? Like, you do what you got to do as a company. That I will always understand.
Yeah, to a degree.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about it later. Obviously, there's semantics to it, right? But in that situation,
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily giving fault to Starbucks because I promise you they were willing to settle no matter what. They were racist or not. They were willing to write a check to make
You
you
could have
happy.
said $100 million, and I can almost guarantee you they would have been like, absolutely.
No. I don't know about that. They probably would have been like, absolutely not. But I could give you 5, and even then,
I don't know, man.
Listen,
when you're
voluntarily taking a fucking dollar pisses me off.
you-
Is what I'm saying.
all I'm saying, bro, is if the regional manager is one white woman and she's able to claim racial profiling and get $28 million out of it,
I'm just
like,
saying.
you could probably have started at $100 million.
That's true.
Like,
That's true.
You started $100 million and they're like, no, we'll give you 50. 50, fine. Honestly, 25 a piece.
I'm right there with you. I hella agree with you. What I guess what we're both saying is you didn't even enter
even
in
try.
negotiations. You just said, you know what, Your Honor. Could you believe that? Even the judge, I'm sure that day would have been like, these niggas are stupid.
Yeah, and I'm sure their lawyer also was like, and who's paying me?
Yeah, for real. That was because I know that was especially if that was pro bono. Excuse me,
We
50
won,
cents?
bro. Are you?
50 cents.
I'm taking all that, bro.
Yeah.
Be an activist.
What did you say earlier
you
about
won.
the guy who said 250,000 is really $2.50 for somebody? who got
250,000 out of $1 billion is $2.50 out of 1,000, and I'm like,
$1,000? Sure.
I'll take that still though. I'm
Yeah.
keeping that 250. Are you kidding? That's bus fare.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Oh my gosh. But anyway,
Man, that reminds me. We got once we get back to the $250,000, I have another joke.
that
But yeah,
I guess all we're saying is, all jokes aside, right? We are really joking. I'm sure there's a lot more we don't understand about the entire situation, and maybe for you that really was your calling because I'm sure the hood feels really great now that you only took the $1.
you really showed them.
You really did. Anyways,
I'm also like, what? I don't even have questions. Like,
that's so funny.
what do I even ask in this case? Were you like scared that if you took? Were you scared that if you took them for more money, you wouldn't be allowed in a Starbucks? Like, they're just gonna be like send out an
There's
all.
Dunkin' Donuts. There's also support
I
mom and
have-
pop shops.
I
Open up
have
your own coffee
nothing.
shop.
I have nothing. Like,
Yeah.
no questions.
Were you
Just
worried
like,
about going
okay.
back to the hood with that much money? Honestly, the minute you get that check, send an Uber to pick up whatever you got, whatever family members you got. And I do mean just family members, because at that
Bro.
point, buy everything new.
These motherfuckers are not from the hood either. If you got enough sense and money to make an activist lawsuit, you're not just straight
Probably
out of the
not.
hood, bro.
They
Like,
weren't they kids just hanging out?
Not kids.
Not
no.
kids.
I'm pretty
Okay.
sure
just
they were
two
like,
grown black men.
yeah, just two black men.
It's just interesting to me, but
They
I
wouldn't
guess
have been arrested like that if they were younger. They probably would have been detained, and we would have heard something about their parents.
Maybe this is just showing character. Maybe I'm really a terrible person because I'm seeing money over opportunity to be an activist. But sure, I don't care.
All I know is if I want to achieve some of the things that I want to do, especially if it comes to changing the world around me, I need money.
Yeah, and you probably will not be able to do those things in your lifetime unless you're in a situation where you get a very large sum of money from a corporation that has it.
So
You know what I mean?
I dislocated my shoulder. I have been in the streets, like just waiting for somebody to try to inch forward too far in a red light or whatever. I'm gonna let them tap my shit.
Yo.
I'll re-dislocate my shit so quick and be like, it was you.
Keep rolling on flat grounds.
Yeah.
No way. Y'all don't want to see this. No
They'd be like,
way.
yo, you're making it worse. I don't know. I don't know anything.
That's why I'll talk about it now. When I got in my car accident, which was traumatizing. I want to make sure that's on record.
Yeah.
I was able to get out of my car, and I was like, I could have sat in here.
Bro, I'm finding out now that if you get in a car accident, honestly, even if it's your fault, just stay in there.
Mm-hmm.
Let the airbags deploy on you and just sit there like,
You know what? I feel like you can't, though? That shit does not smell good. It makes you want to get out the car.
It does.
It really makes you, like, you legit cannot just sit in there.
Open the door then.
Sometimes you can't open the door.
No.
Crawl out the back. Anyway, no. But
Yeah, bro. Okay, but if you're trying to play like dead, you're like injured, you can't crawl out the back.
it's how far you're
you
willing
can't
to
crawl
go
out
for
the back.
Yeah, but my
you crawl out
thing
the back
is,
and
you
then
don't
act
really
like
know.
you spawned in.
I guess if I knew what I was inhaling, I might have taken it, but I don't really know if I'm trying to leverage lung damage
We out
for
here.
the bag.
We out here ingesting Freon for the bag.
See, that's what I'm saying. I don't even know what that is, and no. Anyway, moving on. I mean, I guess we pretty much covered everything. The only other thing I wanted to talk about in this little intro is, I know this keeps coming back around, but I think, again, summer is really one of those times where you got to press some issues, or not issues, some topics. And the topic is advising your friends. How much time do we have?
5 minutes.
I've found, here's something I've been having a lot of conversation around lately. When I was younger, which I'm 28 now, I'm still young, but what I mean is between the ages of 18 and 23, the youthful years of realizing you're traumatized, trying to work through them, and fucking up, right? Right? Can we all agree that those are the general, because it's usually the time you leave your parents' house, go to college, and you really got to figure some things out on your own. During the 18 to 23, I can happily say I had a really good time. I made a lot of great experiences. I met a lot of awesome people. But I also messed up a lot. Things that a lot of time I was able to chuck up to. I was young. I didn't really know any better. You know what I mean? Like, again, I was in a space where I didn't even think I'd ever be in this space. So a lot of these experiences, I didn't think I'd ever have, right? Not to say whatever happened was, you can just say whatever. But when it came to these bad experiences also, it was really good to get us out of your system early on.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'm young now. It's not that you didn't know you'd be forgiven, but looking back at it, you can see why people kind of overlook those things because you were young.
Yeah.
Because in those age ranges, they don't really expect you to know any better because you don't know any better. Right? So it's kind of like when somebody dates somebody from when they're 16 to 20, and then after 20, they really wild out. Because, during those years where you were supposed to be doing those other things, you were in a mature relationship when you were just a kid.
He's out here playing house.
You know what I mean, though, right?
Yeah.
It's just, that's when you hear, bro, she's for the street. She's sleeping with the janitor type shit. When in reality, nah, like, she hasn't met anybody else, and so she's doing new things. And same thing for the guy, right? Like, so-and-so of them broke up, and now, whatever. Usually it's for the worst.
Yeah. Yeah.
Usually it's for the worst.
Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Yeah. So my point to that is, now at my age, and when I see people doing those things that we're supposed to have experienced earlier on, they're not getting those breaks, and it's really impacting their lives. You know what I mean? Because we are at an age now where you can't do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you clearly knew you couldn't do it earlier on because you thought whatever morality level you're at, you didn't do it then. Now at the age you are, you can't do that. You are way past doing this. And I'm realizing that for a lot of people. You know,
Yeah.
whether it's whatever it is that they got going on, you go, wow, like, I do see what people say, like, with, you know, the older you are, and you can kind of quantify when you are really young as compared to when you're mature. Because looking at what people are doing now, you really are like, how could you do this at this stage of your life? This is some shit you do when you're in college, all right?
Yeah,
Now-
seriously. I see people far older
Mm-hmm.
than us behaving way worse
Like
than we did in
you
college.
Can't. Because now, you know, the time you get pulled over from acting reckless, it's looked at very differently. You're a grown ass man. What are you doing?
Yeah, you could have kids.
Yeah, you know what? You could have. Yeah, those kids you almost hurt just could have been literally your kids. So they look at you very differently. And even in our interpersonal relationships as well, I see that when you're trying to give your friends advice on things that you've done, you've experienced, and you know the outcome of, but they think they're above that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because everybody's unique and everybody's experience is their own. But
We got to talk about that after this commercial break for sure.
Yeah,
that's
but-
something we really got to address.
this is all the human experience.
Yeah.
You can't. It's like when your parents are like, "You'll know what I'm talking about when you're my age."
Yep. And you
I'm
go,
like
"Ah."
I'm halfway to that sentiment, and I already know what they're talking about.
Yeah,
Like-
yeah, yeah. Obviously, like you said, everyone. Again, we'll take a commercial break. More on this when we come back.
We'll be right back.
Yeah.
We are back.
All right. So. Yeah. So we're gonna keep the conversation going. What did you say before we went on break?
That everybody is
Oh,
unique and their
yeah.
experience is different.
You know, that's only true to a certain degree.
Yeah.
I'm realizing that's only true because it's the people you meet, right? Like, it's always the same. It's not always the same situations, but the outcomes are usually fairly linear.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and obviously you take some things out of some people's lives, and there aren't in others, right? Like trauma and some other of those core things that some people experience and not others.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to, again, watching your friends' behaviors and how they develop, a lot of things do kind of, you know, cross, right? From
Yeah.
what you've done before and what they're experiencing and however that felt. How that person is feeling, you might not understand, but you can still understand the outcome and what's going to happen from those situations.
Yeah. Well, it's like, I don't know. It's like I said, I don't know if I said it while we were on camera or right afterwards, but it's like when your parents are like, you're going to know what I'm talking about. And you're like, shut up.
Yeah, when you're like,
and then you get there and you're like, God damn it.
Yep.
They were right.
yeah,
And then you have the same situations with your friends, your own family, whether it's your kids, your cousins, your brother, sister, like you're like, yeah, this is going to happen to you. And they're like, no, it's not. And then it happens to them. And they're like, okay, shut up.
yeah, yeah.
And you're like, man, I tried to tell you and I tried to let you know, like, this is what it's like. And you could have avoided it, but you somehow didn't. And that's okay, too, I guess. But
And now we're here.
now we're here.
Now we're here. And what's crazy is some people will kind of fall back and be like, oh, yeah, I see what you mean. And then some other people will be like, caution to the wind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Absolutely.
I've really kind of and I've brought this up a couple of times too. What I also don't want to be happening is sometimes people will ask you for your advice, but then they will turn to somebody else for the same to ask for the same kind of advice, but take that person instead because that's what they wanted to hear, right? And it's like, why did you even ask me in the first place? Like, why did you even waste my time if you just wanted to hear what you wanted to hear? Which I used to do a lot, but again, I feel like that's something I used to do when I didn't actually want to grow as a person.
Yeah.
Right? Like when I was like, I'm just going to stunt my own growth. I don't want to hear this.
I was watching an anime the other day, and this character, he was like training with this master swordsman, and he was like, "Do you want to keep going for today, or like you good?" He's like, "Nah, like I'm just trying to keep at it or whatever." And he's like, I'm gonna be real. We're good for today because like you're not actually trying to get stronger. Like you're just trying to show other people that you're here training. And I was like, damn, harsh.
Yeah.
He got you.
That's a big difference.
Yeah.
That's
like
a big
you're not
difference.
trying to change anything about yourself. Like you're just here because that's what people made it look like was expected.
Yeah. Which is funny you say that because earlier I had a friend bring up how now it's a trend to bring your online personality with you. Right? So when you're online and you're acting a certain way and you have that personality, you try to bring it with you when in reality there is the real world still.
Yeah.
I used to have a really hard time understanding what people meant by the real world because they're like social media is not real, right? But I used to think, but I'm on it. I'm sharing my thoughts, but obviously all these things are happening. There's a lot of cross collaboration happening between all sorts of platforms. How could it not be real? But then when I had the conversation about people bringing, their personality online, what they really meant is you can't, obviously online, I also really understood, the Twitter finger thing, the behind the screen thing, because again, to you, it's not real because you're behind the screen. No one can really upset you. No one can really come at you because you can either block them, you can have other people rally behind you that this is not okay. But in reality, it's all being done in a space that isn't real. It's like you said back in the day. Your friends will tell you to go start an OnlyFans, but they're definitely not going to subscribe.
Yeah.
So it's the exact concept of you're able to act a certain way online. You're able to portray a certain persona online, but then you bring it to you in real life. When in reality, it doesn't actually, there's no leverage to that in real life. And a lot of people will look at you in the wrong light immediately. Not because they don't follow you online, not because for anything else, but because what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like you can't act like this here. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, and also it's like even just using OnlyFans as an example, like the only successful OnlyFans models, that is their life. That you talk to them in regular life and they're like, yeah, I do OnlyFans. If you're trying to figure out what it's like, here's my Instagram and my OnlyFans. Like that is their life. So that is a different kind of like real life in that regard. But it's just funny that everybody thinks that you can turn it off.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Or that you can't turn it off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Know.
Because, again, when it comes to having these interactions, a lot of times it's like, I understand that's what's trendy and that's what's going on right now. But, so I was talking to a friend the other day, just kind of. So we're talking about, the aspect of being able to date freely now and being able to just take your experience online and share it. I was like, with that already comes problems.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because for one, as a woman, I would never, as a man talking to a woman, right? And from the feedback I've gotten from both sides, and obviously I'm not citing or saying anyone's right or wrong, you do have to kind of pick and choose who you share this personality with. Because what we have come to know is the people who are online might be this type of person, but in real life, they're the most fucking terrible person. And they will legitimately ruin your life for speaking out about them online, posting about them online without their consent, or talking about the experience you had with them and how you didn't like it, and how, and leveraging that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some people will legitimately come after you for that.
Blackmail, libel, slander, like, they'll get you.
They'll get you. So we're having a conversation of like, I understand that it's in a world of like, this is how I express my freedom. But in the real world, some people will hurt you for that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because in the real world, not everybody will be receptive for that. Am I saying this shouldn't be? No. But that's exactly what I'm saying. In the real world, they don't have to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, again, it's just kind of one of those things that long term, like, yes. And now in today's age, we have a lot of freedom to do a lot of things. But at the end of the day, when we step away from that bubble and we see people's addresses getting doxxed. You know what I mean, bro? So, and that's why, I don't know. That's why I think sometimes, while yes, you can really put your private life online, you got to really take into consideration who's going to receive that in your interaction in real life. You know what I mean? Because that shit gets real.
Yeah.
That shit gets real.
Quickly.
And let's never forget that. And I think a lot of time people forget that when they aren't able to know that they're on social media and now they're in real life. Shit gets real. And yeah, that's what I'm going to... I've been talking. Go ahead.
I mean, well, the original point was about advising your friends. And to tie all of that back in, don't let your friends, like, get too absorbed in a personality that they've created for social media, too. Like, and that's not to say that your friends are pretending to be something. If that's who they are, that's who they are. Great. Yeah. Good for them. Unless it's actually damaging for them, then let them know. But like you can't just observe these things and then also go be chronically online about it and be like, yeah, my friend. Yeah, like don't let them get that far.
And
all my friends will let you know as soon as they say some shit, I'm the first person to play devil's advocate and be like, no, that's stupid.
And this
even if it's a decent idea.
No, you have to, because even this conversation I was having, I was like, sometimes it feels like you can't make comments or recommendations to people because some people have internalized that, well, I get to act this way because of legitimately who I am. You know what I mean? So sometimes it kind of feels odd to be like, well, you can't really like say what they're doing is wrong because that is how they've defined who they are. Like legitimately who I am is this. So you telling me that I can't be that because of whatever other standard is odd. So I was like, and then they cut me off to go, if I'm going to be completely honest, it just sounds like the people who you hang out with just have toxicity level they aren't willing to address. And I was like, damn. And because they were like, because for me, in my group, those things just never happen because, again, they look out for me. They want to make sure I'm making good decisions. And even though, like, yeah, one of us might want to act out, you can at least act out in this house where only we see you acting out. And it's only, something kind of like that. And I was like, damn, never thought about it that way. First of all, don't you ever talk about the friends I hang out with and how they're toxic.
Dead. I'm dead.
You know what I mean? Right
that
away.
That comes right back to the don't tell me to go to therapy conversation. I'll go to therapy if I feel like it.
Yeah, but no. In all honesty, though, what they said made a lot of sense, right? It goes, because she goes, yeah, like, obviously what my friends could do is champion this behavior online. Or, if that's really how I'm acting, they try to, compartmentalize it. Like, they don't let it become everything that I am. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. But again, don't even talk about my friends.
Yeah.
You don't know us.
I'm dead.
But anyway, so that's my 2 piece on that. Because I want to see everybody do well. I want to see everybody thrive. And again, it's really hard to, coach people or try to give them advice when you see mistakes that you've done and you're trying to, like, hey, yeah, I'm going to agree with you. This doesn't end well. And they just do not want to hear it.
It's like, I don't know. I'm a lot better at track analogies, but it's like a relay race, right? Like a handing the baton off. If it's a 400 meter, right? Every person has to go around the whole lap one time, and that's the whole relay. If you are like the anchor and you watched like the first 3 people trip over a rock in your lane. If you trip over that fucking rock, I swear to God, like, what are you doing, bro?
Yeah, I like that.
Like, come
you're right.
on.
You're right. Didn't I tell you?
Didn't you see it? Like, we all saw it.
Yeah.
We're all behind a couple seconds because they tripped on it already. Jump over that bitch.
Jump
like,
over the
come
fucking
on.
rock. Like, you do not have to do that. And if you have another teammate that's like, I bet you could take on the rock, though. Fuck that teammate.
The rock,
you know
bro.
what I mean? Like, no, you cannot listen to that guy.
Yeah,
that
dude.
guy does not have your best. You could take on the rock. Think about it, right?
Yeah, no.
It brings me. So I'm glad. So we're gonna keep branching off. Bro.
Yeah.
The other day, I was walking through just Cap Hill, and I had a thought. I go, wow, early on in my life, I really did go, I'm gonna change the world. And then now I'm at an age where I'm like, I don't want to admit this, but it is just me. I'm sure I can make a difference in the world, but I don't know if I can spend my entire life wanting to change the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's because
getting older makes you feel that.
Yeah, it does, because now you have other things you got to deal with.
Yeah.
Right? I want my podcast to take off. I I'm trying to play FIFA professionally. Like
I'm trying to get hit by a city bus, low key.
Yeah, like there are other things that I could do right here, right now that are more impactful than thinking overall. Like, because again, like sometimes you can't live in that bubble.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And even as a kid, looking back at it now, I was like, I just said that shit. I didn't even know how. And even as a kid, how was I gonna change the world when all I've ever wanted was to spit shine a boat in my backyard with a couple cars out front?
Wax on, wax off.
Yeah, I was like, how am I supposed to change the world when that's all I want to do is be on a boat with my friends? So, you know,
And it's not to say that, like, I don't know. I think, at least for me, it's not to say that I'm not still dedicated to doing something that's impactful. I just, to be like, dang, I want to change the world. And then I walk around Seattle where I've been for 20 years at least. And I'm like,
not
I
doing
haven't done
any
shit
actual-
to
yeah,
here. Like,
yeah.
and what am I supposed to do to here? It's getting worse. Like every time I leave for 5 minutes, I come back and there's
Pregnant
more
women are getting
problems.
shot.
Like,
Like,
yeah,
come on.
God damn.
So yeah, I guess that's what I'm trying to say too, right? Like
just a little bit nihilistic.
you can make an impact for sure, and people are making an impact. But even if you make an impact in somebody's life, that is in a way changing the world and impacting your community. That's not what I'm saying. It's ultimately like that reality of you can really aspire to do this one thing, but when you just I don't know, when you're living in a fantasy world where it's not actually happening, when you snap back into reality, you really realize, again, there's a real world, right? Not to say if I had the funds or the way or the resources that I wouldn't be out here campaigning. I really would. Maybe not me personally because I don't like standing out in the sun, but that's a personal preference.
Once again, if they catch me in a Starbucks getting kicked out for no reason, I guarantee you the world would change.
Yeah, and that check, part of that check will go to some organizations making a change and doing all sorts of stuff. But anyway, let's move on. Right?
Let's
move
talk
on.
about some of the things that everybody's talking about for a moment.
Yo.
Because we got it's like 15 minutes in this recording left, so that's like perfect time.
Yeah, I want to spend some time talking about this.
Well, yeah, no, that's what I'm
So,
saying. Let's start here.
No, let's not start here. Let's
What?
kind of flip this upside down. Let's start with the new Black Mirror shit. Because the submarine conversation is going to take us a little bit.
That's fair.
It's going to take us a little bit. Have you seen the new Black Mirror?
No.
Have you heard the reviews of the new Black Mirror?
No, actually, I haven't.
What?
I only have seen the trailers for it.
I swear,
I didn't have Netflix.
some people have agreed with me on this podcast. Like, sometimes this nigga's like no to everything. I'm like, I know, but he didn't have Netflix. They didn't have Netflix.
I didn't
Why
have
didn't you
Netflix because, bro, the password sharing bullshit.
Let me.
The
okay,
only people-
Hold on. I'm about to pocket watch for a second.
The only
Hold on to your thought. Let me pocket watch for a second. Did you have to unlock it for somebody else on your account, or did somebody else have to unlock it for you on their account?
I didn't have either option. It was previously, what was it? It was my parents' Netflix. So I had my parents' account, but their shit maxed out because they logged into too many accounts like a month ago. And then Kylie had it.
This is why you can't let your parents be in charge of the logins.
Yeah, that's why I
Niggas,
have the HBO.
They'll have the app on their phone and still log into the browser to watch Netflix. You can't, bro. That's 2 devices. What are you doing?
Exactly.
That is how it goes, though, but they don't know that.
But so that was like 2 or 3 months ago. And then right as they rolled out password sharing, we were using Kylie's, but her whole family was using that.
Yeah.
And they're literally all in different states.
Oh, my God.
So like that sucks for them now because like only one of those houses is going to get to use it. I don't even know if they're going to keep using Netflix, but I don't know. It's
I
old
might
people.
not,
They
if I'm
probably-
being completely honest. Because you did talk about how it's $8 to add a household.
Yeah.
It's not.
How much is it? It's like another
not.
13.
No, bro. It's $8 to add additional devices. Because what they turned it into is, so I pay for the streaming services in my family. So if I wanted my mom to have access, that's $8. If I wanted my siblings to have access, $8 each. Each
Dang.
device, right? But because when they say each home is that account or that user gets to log in with their own stuff and use it. So each person would still need their own login.
That's interesting.
You know what I mean?
So it would be like
It's like
only
$70.
It's like only your TV in the living room at home at your parents' house
with your login.
with your login, and then like that. If you wanted to save money, that would be like the only place that your family could watch your Netflix
And then if
account.
my sister, for some reason's at lunch wanting to watch Netflix, now it's another $8 because, hey, you're not at the Wi-Fi, you're not at home. Like, what is this?
That's crazy.
I don't know how much longer I'm going to be. And you can pocket watch me too. Yes, I'm saying I'm not paying $70 for fucking Netflix. I don't care.
Yeah.
You know, I don't care what
We
my
did the
finances look
math.
like. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, we did the math.
That doesn't make any sense.
You know, the one, no free clout, but I was originally pissed off at Warner Brothers Discovery HBO for being like, yeah, we're just going to combine it all. But honestly, that was the best thing that's happened to my streaming services in the last 2 years. Was they were like, yeah, you had HBO. Well, now you got HBO and Discover and some random ass other stuff that we got. And I was like, honestly, bet, bro.
Yeah.
For the same price, let's get it.
Because I just don't see how long this is gonna last. And if Netflix reports a profit based off of this, I'm definitely canceling.
Yeah.
Because you're not gonna get me.
Yeah.
And right now, my
And honestly,
my
you're lying.
siblings, my
You're-
siblings will be like, hey, like, is the Netflix okay? I'm like, first of all, don't pocket watch. Second of all,
No.
they're rolling out stupid rules that I legit cannot.
I can't abide this.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. I'll just have to figure some things out. But Netflix is really trying to do that. Anyway, the new Black Mirror, it has they all have really good casts in the episodes, but they're not good. The first two are really good, and I think the fourth or the fifth one, there's only 5 episodes, are really good.
They always do that.
No. But usually
At least
the
for the
seasons,
the last like 2 seasons have had
but-
kind of like a weird.
but the
fall off
seasons
like
will be
that.
good. But these were just, one, you could see it coming a mile away. I'm not gonna ruin it for you. And 2, again, they legit just were not good. Like one of them, I'm not gonna spoil it for you. But go watch the new Black Mirror. Very lackluster compared to what we've gotten in the past. There's one of them with a black guy though, who plays a demon. Fire. My man kills it. Kills the role. There's the other one. Yeah, bro. Just Jesse Pinkman from Breaking Bad is in one of them.
Yeah, I saw the
that
trailer
one.
for
The
that.
acting was really good, but again, you could see it coming
No
from a mile
story.
away. You know what I mean? But
Net-
anyway,
Netflix and all these streaming services are like the reason why writers are striking. So
yeah.
I could see there being a
listen,
little bit of an issue.
This better have been shot and written or whatever the process is
Before
while
that?
while there was a writer's strike.
Oh damn.
That's the only excuse they can really pull off. That's how
That's how
it was
bad it
mad
was.
mediocre. Yeah,
Damn.
it was mad mediocre, bro. Like insanely mediocre. There was an
Damn.
episode where the girl just watched her life play out on Netflix. Come on.
Yeah,
Come
honestly,
on.
that's weak.
And how the episode rolled out that
I could
she
do that.
would do something, and obviously the actress who played her would do something, and then the actress had somebody else playing her who would do the exact same thing, and at the end they find out the only way to break it is by bonding. You know what I mean, bro? That was the most supernatural aspect of any of them.
Man,
There was a werewolf.
I miss. Damn, interesting.
No, it
I
wasn't.
miss the Black Mirror where they were like, yeah, these two are child murderers, so we make them relive their crime every day.
Yeah.
Like that is some
Yeah.
crazy shit. I was like,
That
whoever wrote
aspect-
that was wild.
That aspect has been dropped completely.
Yeah.
It's
I
not. It's
I
not in
went the
the-
like slightly disturbing stuff.
There's
that was
no,
like the whole point.
There's no connecting theme. There's no reoccurring song. Like all of those themes that we came to love about Black Mirror are gone. And I know this was like probably them thinking they don't want to do the same thing and change it up. But I'm gonna be real, it did not work.
Yeah, I'll stick with Love, Death, Robots.
That was fire.
Yeah,
That
I
was
think there's
fire.
supposed to be another season of that coming out later this year.
Yeah.
But-
what else we got? I think
Oh.
some of these on here are repeats, so I'm gonna take these off. Moving and we ain't gonna talk about that.
Did they actually put out the XXL Freshman list?
They did.
Yeah.
They did.
Can you
And
pull
for
that up
once,
really quick.
I do. Oh, this just froze. Oh no, it didn't. For once, I have some praise for Ice Spice.
Because they didn't put her in it?
They did not put her in it, but I think that's a good thing.
Mm.
I don't know what's about to pull up on this.
Why? Because compared to the others, it wouldn't
Hold
have
on.
been.
I don't know what's gonna pull up on this, so we're just gonna.
Oh my gosh.
I don't have my phone either.
Man, just do it, even if it is some crazy shit.
What?
It's
No.
not like they're screen recording in here.
Even if there is some crazy. Do you guys hear this, man?
No, I said it's not like there is screen
But there
recording.
might be, is what I'm saying.
Oh my God. Who is screen recording your home TV?
I don't know.
You got bigger problems if that's the case.
Okay, yeah, no, there's nothing on here. Just game shit.
This guy.
XXL Freshmen.
What would have been on there?
Honestly, porn. What else? What? Not looking up how
Bro.
to get away with murder.
Speaking of porn, no. I was on Reddit and somebody asked like, "What's something that you've seen in porn that just made you mad?" And I was like, "Who woke up and asked that question
I have an
today?"
answer for that.
Go for it.
I watched a scene where the thumbnail was a black guy and like 5 girls. Say whatever you want. Porn's made for guys anyway. I was like, hell yeah, I'm about to watch this. This seems lit. Halfway through, the black guy gets like 15 minutes, and then there's a white guy who just joins them.
Yeah, I'm always confused by that.
He didn't start out in the scene. He legit joined halfway through.
For me, I would say that something that like makes me mad in porn is like, I don't know, like overly aggressive transitions between scenes where you're like, how did you get here?
Or bad transitions.
Yeah, that's
like,
what I'm
this was
saying.
Not going
like,
on in the previous scene.
yeah, like how did you get here? Like what's going on? Like if you go from outside, like you just got out of the pool and then somehow we're now inside and I'm oily.
Hair's done.
How are we oily in this situation?
See, that's
Honestly,
my favorite,
keep the
though.
oil out of here.
That's my favorite though. When they're oily in one scene and dry as shit immediately, like 2 seconds later. It's like, yeah, clearly y'all took a break.
Yeah, bro, you're like, damn, the
Man,
fastest
but-
drying oils.
Yeah, but they do it pretty well to where you can't really tell. You know what I mean? But anyway, I have it pulled up here. I keep crying and wiping my tears in my shirt. I don't care. All right. We'll pull up the list. So, XXL Freshman. Finesse 2 times. I've heard of him. I've heard some of his music.
I've only heard once of his name, and that's it.
I think, I think he can rap.
We'll do like a reaction after.
Yeah. So if you remember when we were talking about, Ice Spice and talent and who's in the scene, I mentioned her, Lola Brooke.
Yeah.
She, again, we're not gonna dive into all these people. Rob 49, never heard of him.
Never heard of him at all. We need to do like a best and worst thing where we like look up all of these artists. I've heard of this artist.
I've heard of Friday. Friday's getting a lot of praise right now. His music is really good. His music's really good. Obviously, tailored taste, but really
Glorilla!
good. Yo.
Yeah, obviously.
Yo.
That deserves.
Yo. Good for her.
Too rare.
Never heard of.
No.
I thought this was that one streamer. I thought this was Kai Cenat. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Sleazy
Bro,
world.
No, when
go.
I came down here, did you not think it was gonna be Kai Cenat?
I was thinking like a cleaned up Chief Keef.
No way. Never heard of him either. But we'll talk about this. Why Central C?
Never.
How could you not be on this list if you advocate about not being homophobic? It only makes sense.
Yeah.
You've heard of Central C.
I don't know if I have.
You've heard of Central C.
Really?
How could I be homophobic? My girl is gay.
Oh yeah. I'm dead. I'm dead.
Yeah, but no, he does make
Hey,
good
shout
music.
out to him.
He's also
Yeah,
from
I'm
the UK.
definitely trying to sit and
Yeah.
listen to some of this after we finish.
Yeah, he's from the UK. Part of the drill scene out there. He's good. I'll give him that. You know what I mean?
I'm here for the UK drill.
Yeah. Real Boston Richie. I don't know who that is. Lil Tyler. I know who that is. I've heard of him.
I've heard of the name.
I've heard of it. I've listened to his music. It's one
Tallahassee.
of those give or takes for me, but I do think he is good. But again, give or take.
Hey, Tia Kareen.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Freaky T. Okay.
Oh,
well,
I thought
first
this
off,
was his name. It's not his name. It's just the 10th spot winner is DC the Dawn.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah,
DC the
yeah.
Dawn is just now making it into the double XL
Bro,
freshman class.
Lotto didn't make it to the double XL freshman class till last year.
I guess it.
And Lotto's
yeah,
been
I guess
around.
that's fair.
Yeah. Some of them, you know.
Bro, but DC
They
the
get-
Dawn is
no,
like
but they get
easily like 6 years.
They get
in.
rebranded eventually, and the rebrand is usually like, oh, now they've broken onto the scene.
I guess that's
You know what
fair.
I mean?
DC the Dawn was with YBN and all them before Namir admitted that he was an alcoholic and went to rehab.
That's crazy. A lot of y'all should be admitting that if I'm being real with you.
And
But
be
we're
real with
not-
yourselves.
We're not here to talk about that.
All right,
So yeah, we got the list.
we're right up on a commercial break.
All right, we'll come back and talk about the list after this break.
Hey. Yeah, all right, we're back.
All right, so double XL freshman list. Considering I didn't know a lot of the people who are on there. Two, kind of shows what kind of places in hip hop I kind of hang out. I stay with my true and tested, my veterans. I don't really, clearly out of my age group. I didn't know, and even the animation and the design, you can kind of tell that's for really the young kids.
But honestly, here's the thing. Ever since the was it the year before Lil Yachty, Lil Uzi, and all them, it's been falling off. Like
Yeah.
in terms of how Double XL has handled their freshman class list and all that stuff. Like before, it was easy to know who was going to be on that list every time. Like Soulja Boy was in there when he was in his debut era. Like we knew who was going to be there. After the Lil Yachty, Lil Uzi era, you're like, I have no fucking clue who's going to be in here.
I think a lot of people will also agree that was the last good class.
Yeah.
Because it was Lil Yachty, it was Uzi, it was 21.
And I'm not saying that their cipher that day was good. I'm saying all of those artists are good now.
Yeah, yeah, they've come a long way.
Yeah, they've come a very long way from that.
And
Like
not
they
just-
went into that freaking cipher that day just to have fun, and you can hear it.
I mean, so I agree with you on multiple points. The first one I agree on is after that class, yeah, Double XL became something different. Not because the list didn't matter anymore, but because of the people who started getting on the list, right?
Yeah.
Second, Double XL used to be about the cipher.
Yeah,
right?
man.
Bro, you used to, you had to go in there.
Now
Brent
it's just
was
kind
late.
of like a point that they're
Yeah,
making.
yeah. And you just got to do it because you got to do it.
Yeah.
But you used to go in there because rent was late, the car was repossessed, the lights weren't on, the roaches were in the food. You're fighting for your fucking life. Like you had to come with the hardest 16 bars that you could ever come up with.
Yeah.
The worst rapper used to be one of the best.
Man,
You know what I mean?
The Double XL cipher, motherfuckers used to go on there and not be signed.
Yeah.
Like that was the whole thing. Now people go on there already with a record deal.
Yeah,
And so it really doesn't
yeah.
even matter what they
you a
do.
freshman? At that,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, because whatever. Anyway, obviously,
Like NBA YoungBoy going in the Double XL cipher unsigned like he was at the time. That was hard shit.
that is hard.
I was
yeah.
like, God
But
damn. But now
the-
you're like, I've seen
You guys have
75
albums?
albums
Yeah.
from NBA YoungBoy, and you're like, okay, yeah, like you did do that.
But no, also like this list, like a lot of people on this list already have projects out. They have a lot of work to show, and it's kind of hard to be like, well, are you a freshman then?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But admittedly, missing from this list is Ice Spice,
Yeah.
which I could talk about this two ways. I'm going to talk about this two ways, so buckle up. How do you feel about it? You're a munch, I understand, so step up for your girl.
Hey, I never said that. I just said that when you're discussing like current artists, it would be unfair not to consider Ice Spice. Ice Spice does have a long way to go, but I also feel like in a lot of respects, the Double XL cipher is for people who can freestyle. It's
I agree with that.
supposed to be, at least the Double XL freshman class is supposed to be that.
Mm-hmm.
So if they don't have a cipher this year, or I don't see all 10 of those people freestyle at some point, I will also look at that list with no validity.
Yeah, so that
Like
is
Ice Spice is a good rapper for the things that she has written already.
Mm-hmm.
I have no evidence that she's able to do anything other than those things, but I have faith that it's possible.
So it's
Absolutely.
like, that's what I've been saying then.
Yeah. And,
Anyway.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I had
Yeah.
agreed with you before. I was just saying that, like, to assess that she's just completely unable to change or, like, is untalented is not, like, a fair assessment. I think she is talented because the ability to adapt is talent. But, like, some people, they get thrown into that and they still just don't adapt. Like, I've definitely seen... definitely not of the people on this list, but rappers in random areas and shit like that just like, yeah, you're straight up untalented, bro. Like, and I'm not even gonna say DaBaby, but to a degree, I'd say DaBaby is also lacking some talent in a lot of ways, simply because how have you been doing the same shit, bro, for like 13 years?
Hey,
And you're like,
don't change it if it ain't broke. Or what did I say? Don't fix it if it ain't broke. But I agree.
but is it
agree.
working? Because he has
I-
to do it like every 2 years, the same shit. But like, I don't know.
It's one of the situations, like I said, with Tyler.
Where was
Creator.
DaBaby at in the XXL Freshman classes? I don't know if he ever did. No, I don't know if he ever made it into their
No,
list.
DaBaby made the list.
Really?
DaBaby made the list the year Meg Thee Stallion made the list because they kind of bounced off each other when they did the cipher. Yeah, whichever year that was. I guess that was another good year, but whatever.
Yeah, but that's like two people. I don't even remember the other people.
Yeah, exactly. So I agree with you. Slightly different reason, but I agree with you. I do think Ice Spice was not on this list because when it comes to pure rapping talent, it's not really there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, like, and also you could not put her in the same league as a British drill rapper. They basically invented that
Central
shit.
C would have smoked.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they basically invented that shit, and you're doing like a chiller version of that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
this dude would have been up in there rapping at like 85 BPMs. Like,
Listen.
like don't catch my man's.
No, he's pretty good. So I agree. I think this is kind of the long-term version of what I've been saying. Ice Spice is a great entertainer and she is a rapper, yes.
Yeah.
But if
In
we're gonna be
this
completely
forum?
honest, not like this.
No.
You know what I mean? And here, I do think Ice Spice would have easily been outshone that she's not a rapper because everybody else here would have murdered her. You know what I mean? Not
That's
her
another
necessarily,
thing-
but her verse.
That's another thing that I'm interested about is like if XXL is like, hey, like we want to feature you, like how do you feel about that? If the artist is ever like, no,
That's
I'm sure it happens for sure, or like your PR team is like, we couldn't do it.
So that's the other side I was going to take this. I actually think this is actually more of a sign of how far Ice Spice has come on her own.
Yeah.
Which is not a knock to her. It's like I said, it's really a compliment because from what we've talked about so far, XXL has easily lost its grip on the culture with the list meant and everything else. Which I didn't think about this until I heard this on, on another podcast I was listening to, but they made a really good point. She's probably just above all of it, right? And then I go, damn, you're not lying. Talent or no talent,
I don't have to be on XXL.
well, it's not even that. Talent or no talent, no matter how I might feel about Ice Spice, I'm not gonna make it a blanket statement. She does have 2 songs with Nicki Minaj. She has a project out, however short it might be. She has #1 records. She has a Skims suit ad, so she's working with the Kardashians. She has, we see her in her music video, ads everywhere. You know what I mean? And she has her audience. 1, can she be counted as a freshman? Or 2, she's above this. Clearly outgrown XXL list. She does not need to be here.
Think about too, like if she's signed to Nicki and stuff like that, like Nicki Minaj's team is handling what you're doing now. It really does not matter. Like not like you don't need XXL, but we are going to do something
You know what's
like
funny
that
about
already.
that? Nicki also was never on the XXL list.
But
So-
she also was able to be in the Young Money ciphers that they
But
used
listen,
to do.
but that's what I'm saying. There are some artists based on what you've already been doing.
Man,
like
what if
when
Nicki-
when Meg did it, I think Meg did that more as a courtesy, or more for her as a true hip hop head, than it was for her to be on a list to be recognized. I don't
Yeah.
think Meg needed to be on XXL freshman list
No.
at all.
I think it was a lot more like for Meg's position, it's a lot of the times, even though she doesn't need to prove anything to anybody, she will.
She'll do it. Yeah.
Like she does it to prove it, just because. Like when people are like, "You're not really into anime like that," and she's like, "I just finished fucking Gurren Lagann or some like random ass anime and nobody fucking watches," and you're like, "Okay, yeah, like I guess you're a nerd." Like,
No, yeah.
like it's stuff like that. So to me, like double XL, like we're talking about, I personally, if I was filthy, I'm not filthy. If I was filthy, I probably would not need to go to double XL. I'd probably be trying to arrange my own ciphers with people that I respect.
Yeah, which I don't think Ice Spice is gonna do that because again, yeah.
But that's me.
But
you
yeah,
know?
yeah. So when they brought that up, I immediately agreed. I do think, again, talent or no talent, when you've entered a certain space, some of those things, not to mock anyone who's doing it, because again, that's still an accolade to have on your belt. But I do think some artists are legitimately just above doing something like this.
Yeah.
Like, this would not boost my brand.
Yeah.
This would not grow anything for me that I'm already not currently doing because, again, I'm Ice Spice.
Yeah.
I've been to the Kardashians' house. You know, their
I
daughters.
performed with Taylor Swift.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I just don't need to come and do this because, honestly, the day you might have asked me to come be a XXL freshman, maybe I was sitting down with the Obamas.
Yeah, who knows?
Not that I think that's happening at all, but...
Hey, it might. Maybe
might.
Barack is there like, I'm a munch.
Yo! That'd be sick. I'd respect that.
He said,
that'd be crazy. No way Michelle let me get
you,
that off.
You thought I was feeling you? That's crazy.
No way. But that'd be fun.
Oh, shit.
So shout out to the list. Shout out to everyone involved. Shout out to anyone who couldn't make it but deserved to be on there.
Yeah.
I just thought it was really cool.
And shout out to Ice Spice. Maybe she'll be on there next year. We don't know.
Yeah.
But this year, she's not, and that's honestly totally fine.
Yeah, this year...
Not because we're hating, but because it's literally fine.
Because of everything else you have done this year. You clearly are a like I said, Nicki Minaj was never on there. Drake was never on there. A lot of very prominent rappers were never on the XXL freshman list.
Shout out to the Young Money.
You know what I mean? That was sick. Except it would have been a lot sicker if Wayne didn't go because Wayne went and I forgot everybody else who rapped. He was crazy.
I'm dead.
You can't do that. You can't do that.
You can't
be like, all right, everybody rap and show me your talent, and then I'm going to go. Bro, you just killed him. What'd you do?
On your own song.
Yeah, like, relax.
Oh,
but that was
goodness.
prime Wayne, of course. You know what I mean? Wayne's a different man now. Wayne's the type of guy nowadays to call John Morant and give him advice, which I think back in the day, Wayne would have been like, yo, where you at? Let's party.
Oh, my gosh.
You know, I don't know the guy. I'm just saying, you know, those are the vibes I'm getting now. Anyway, so, yeah.
Oh. Which direction you want to go? Do you want to tackle submarine time?
Oh, let's talk about the submarine, yeah.
All right. So, if you don't already know,
Leave the
Was it
Titanic alone. Jesus.
if you don't already know, was it 5 people?
Yeah.
5 people are presumed dead. I mean,
Presumed.
not presumed dead. They said that the ship exploded. They found debris. My whole thing is like, if it imploded and you found debris, where's all of it?
Well, I mean,
Like
it's in the ocean, right?
Okay, yeah, I know that. And the ocean moves, sure. You're pretty close to the ocean floor already, though. And it should be really close to the boat.
Well, no. That's not kind of how it went down. So, do I give, like, the backstory and then we jump into all of it?
I'll do the backstory. 5 people got in a boat. They paid a lot of money to do it. They're dead.
All right.
That's basically it.
Expanding a little bit more on that. You're right. One of them was...
The CEO of the company.
Yeah, one of them was CEO of the company. The other one was an investor and their son. Another person was a Titanic expert. Funny how that works. Right?
He's the most knowledgeable person there now.
Right? Oh, my God.
Bro, okay, if the middle world is a thing and there are actually souls trapped in that like location, and they're all just like, "Damn, bro, like that was a crazy trip," and then all of a sudden a new soul shows up, they're like, "Bro, how the fuck?" And he's
Oh my
like,
God.
"Yeah, so I'm actually gonna tell all of you about how you died," and then they're like, "We don't get. How did you get here?"
How did you die?
He's like,
Oh
"Oh
my
yeah,
God.
so that was actually researching more about how you died. And they're like, seems counterintuitive.
No, you're very thorough. You really wanted to know what it was like, huh?
Oh my god.
But yeah, so it was those three, and I believe two sons. You know.
Yeah,
or
something like that.
One
It was
more
like a
person who was
British-
like an engineer, and then their son.
Yeah, it was like a British billionaire, the Titanic expert,
Mm-hmm.
the CEO, and then the one dude and his son.
Yeah. So what I've kind of gathered from this is apparently this wasn't just like let's hop in a cylinder and dive deep into the ocean. Apparently this was them in an attempt to
It's
get
more like
funding.
let's hop in a tin can.
Yeah, no, honestly. This was apparently in an effort to guarantee kind of funding for them to do like oceanic exploration work, studies, whatever. I'm gonna be real with you. If you just, I just don't know how I feel about that, right?
Well, it's like what they were like going for a grant, basically.
Yeah. Someone somewhere said that part of getting a grant for any ocean travels or works or whatever sometimes
Had
involves
to have
that.
like a proven journey.
Yeah, but your investors might ask that you consider looking at the Titanic. And then your investors might ask even further to be like, show us you're actually going to go down there because we're going to come and make sure our investment's going to be worth it. Word of mouth, he said, she said, that, whatever. I don't know. It could all be true. I don't know how we get grants for ocean work. Nigga, look at me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I have no desire to do that either.
Yeah. Fast forward, now Luigi and Kayla were sitting at home and they get news that some submarine somewhere disappeared. 5 people are in it. Everyone's freaking out. I'm thinking this is terrible. And then more news comes out, right? It was operated by a Logitech controller, which, in their defense,
Shout out Logitech.
a lot of submarines have, a lot of organizations, even the military, have reported using controllers to operate machinery before. That's not new.
They also usually like fully fuse the machinery and like
That is true.
Yeah,
I'm
like,
just saying
they
the aspect
direct
of using
wire
a
it.
controller
Yeah.
is not the wildest part. Because when I read it, I go, okay, whatever. But looking inside the tube, right, I didn't realize how ridiculously I'm never getting this shit it was, because it was just, like you said, a cylinder. They didn't even put any stickers on the walls. The shit was just gray. There was nowhere to sit. There was a little hole that they, I'm assuming, dug in the infrastructure where you could pee and poop if you need to. The two 1990s monitors, a fucking 1980s keyboard, and in the Logitech controller.
You're running DOS
And
underneath
talking about,
the ocean.
yeah,
bro.
like these pipes that you see here, I got them at some regular store I can go to, which is a red flag because, again, I can go to a store you built a submersible. That's, you know what I mean?
Man, somebody said that they were using I'm not sure what a ballast is, but they said that they were using a ballast that was like repurposed from something else. Like it literally wasn't even that. Like
Yeah.
they were using like a pole or something like that from an old restaurant that they owned.
That's crazy.
And I was like, wow.
Yeah. Furthermore, this submarine only opens on the outside, so once you're in, you're in. You're literally in. Yeah, submarine only has 96 hours of oxygen, nowhere to sit. 8 hours into the trip, they go missing. Right? Coast Guard is out, everybody's out, everyone's looking for them. Coast Guard comes out and says, yo, they got 40 hours left. Then we get, it imploded 1,600 feet away from the Titanic. They almost made it. I'm not, you know what I mean? They almost made it.
That's like 4 blocks, 4 city blocks.
Yeah.
I don't even. Every piece of information that I get about this story just makes it more ridiculous.
I'm
to
gonna be
me.
real. If I'm a billionaire and I pull up and what you're asking me to go risk my life in is what you showed me, no,
Absolutely not.
absolutely not. Somebody posted the James Cameron submarine as picture
They
by
said
picture.
one of the other dudes that was. Oh, sorry. One of the dudes that was on this voyage had been multiple times. He had been like 7 times.
That's crazy. That's
And
crazy.
I don't know, man. You're not convincing me.
You're not convincing me either.
I'm sorry, bro.
Yeah.
Like, if my best friends, like, if any of our other friends came and was like, yeah, bro, this is my boat, and even if it was an above surface boat, and they showed us a rowboat, I'd be like, yeah, have fun, bro.
Yeah, I'm
not
not
be
doing
real.
that. I'm not doing that.
And it's not even because it could be the best rowboat ever. That's not what I'm here for.
Yeah. So I'm
It's
definitely
not a good time. It's not a good time if I got to work like that.
I'm definitely not going 4,000 miles underneath the surface of the ocean.
In something that was basically made in your backyard, like
Yeah.
a DIY project.
No, yeah, that's just not gonna happen.
No.
Do we feel bad for these people who lost their lives? Obviously, yes, because you don't want
Absolutely.
anyone to, die and any families to go through this experience.
Loss of life is terrible.
However,
But as we mentioned earlier in this episode, we also don't agree with loss of money for no reason.
and this could have easily been avoided. Because
Yep.
again, you pull up and the person goes, "This is what we're gonna use to make this trip happen." I would have at least made my son stay behind because clearly I'm not coming back from this trip. You know what I mean? Because again, looking at the submersible, it was a tiny window, so there was a window. But when you look inside the submersible, where the window was a screen instead. So even when you get to the Titanic, which you're clearly not gonna get out and swim around in, you're just gonna get a projection of whatever is on the other side. I don't have to be down here for this. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
no,
There's
dude.
no real actual experience. Like, I'm not looking through the glass, the window. I'm not seeing anything.
Well, apparently James Cameron's picture was through a window.
Well, that's what I was saying earlier. When you look at his submarine, that I might get into. It had phones. It had all sorts of wires. The more wires it had, the safer I felt.
I'm dead.
You know what I mean?
My whole thing is like, I've also been trying to figure out how an underwater implosion happens. Like, what does it look like? And so, like, because clearly it's like an internalization of the pressure, right? Like, the thing was crushed. But how was it explosion, you know?
Let's see. Oh, man. So, it's literally just the exact opposite of an explosion.
So, like,
So, instead of the pressure
internal problems, things start going
and
wrong.
things being pushed outward,
It just
the ocean pressure,
depressurizes it. It
The
just
ocean
fucking
pressure pretty
crushed.
much crushed them into a low ball. And then obviously, because there are still electronics and wires and other stuff, that probably caused,
Like, that popped.
yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So the debris does make sense to why it can't really find it everywhere because whatever.
It compressed.
Yeah.
That's weird.
That is weird. Which means they were inside when all of a sudden the thing just goes, all right. That's scary.
That's hella scary, bro.
That's
What the
terrifying.
fuck?
Nigga, I've been in water before and I swallowed a little bit too much water and I got scared. Could
Yeah,
you
man.
imagine? And the thing is,
I
the
don't know if
oxygen
it-
tank, right? Do you just sit there and try to breathe as little as possible? Or do you just sit there and watch the meter just...
I don't think anything happens because, like, a lot of people are making it seem like this all happened in milliseconds. I don't know if I believe that.
Apparently that does happen in milliseconds.
That's so
The
weird.
implosion does well, like it happens fast enough. So it's one of those things, like, obviously it's not happening right. It doesn't just boom crushes right away, but you descend, and there's enough pressure built that at one point, all at once, it just goes. Right? It's really weird.
I wish
to
we had a
explain.
soda can right now.
No, for real, for real.
That's not funny. But yeah, I wish I had a soda can. That's the only way I can think about it. But have you ever did like a water pressure experiment?
I mean, no, yes and no.
So
Yes,
you can
involuntarily, no, and not on purpose.
Yeah, you can do it with like really like even like a rubber glove. Like if you take your hand in a rubber glove and you stick it down as deep as like a foot, you can feel the like sides of the glove press on the side of your hand. And now imagine that's a whole car.
Yeah, which depending on, because here's the other thing we're not considering. Yeah, it happened fast, but how fast were they spiraling down?
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I
That's
mean?
what I'm like most interested in is everybody's like, well, this all happened in like milliseconds. Like they were dead before they even know what happened. I doubt that.
I don't doubt that.
Well, no, I doubt that they were dead before they knew that there was a problem.
Oh,
You
yeah,
had
yeah,
to have
yeah,
known there
yeah,
was a
yeah.
problem, and then being like, all right, we're descending. I lost contact. Yo, what does that mean? 2 minutes later, you're like, after sinking some more because you don't have control, that's when you're like, all right, yeah, like at the ocean floor, it's going to crush us.
Yeah.
This submarine is only supposed to go within 1,000 feet of the ocean floor, and we have no fucking piloting.
Yeah, because when you look
and
at
you're like looking at the people in there, and you're like, guys, I'm sorry.
but by the time you're done saying you're dead.
Yeah. They're like, guys, this
So-
shit is about to...
Yeah, so that's the thing, right? Because we're losing oxygen, the reason why people probably said they died before realizing it, they were probably passed out anyway,
That's fair.
right? Because when you're losing oxygen, it's not
Well,
like you're
yeah,
being
and
choked.
if it's depressurizing, so the whole reason why a submarine doesn't get crushed every time is because the cabin is pressurized.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't properly pressurize the cabin, then that's exactly what happens.
That's-
It's like throwing a tin can into the ocean.
That's scary.
If you can sink a tin can all the way to the depths of the ocean, it will crush that because that is how fucking intense the pressure of the
imagine that
ocean
grip?
is.
Ooh,
Man.
I'd try that out.
Oh my God. Man,
Would you not?
I don't even know, bro. That's like rip your shit off.
Damn.
There's a movie that we have to watch sometime. It's called Sphere. And in the movie Sphere, they go so deep into the ocean that you have to go down a certain level. They pressurize you, and you have to stay there for 3 weeks. Then you go down even deeper, and then they pressurize you again, and you have to stay in the tank for like a couple days. And then afterwards, you can leave. And then it's like all this like pressurized underdome and all this other shit. But they're like, if you were to go and just like hop in an elevator and let's go down to like a pressurized environment under the ocean, even the air and everything down there is heavier. You would be crushed and you would throw up from internal bleeding.
Damn.
Like you just step out the elevator and be like, guys.
Wrap up this whole
Sorry. All right. Now everything is recording.
Okay. To wrap up the whole submarine talk, guys, like we said earlier, make better decisions. Leave the Titanic alone. There's a reason why they never brought it up.
Let us be more specific. Yes, make better decisions, but make better decisions with yours and other people's money. Like, not just in the submarine thing. If a bag is literally grabbing you by the chest and trying to, like, reverse rob you, don't let that shit escape.
Yeah.
But also, don't take your bag and spend it on a submarine that's going to cost you your life.
No, it's never worth it.
It's never worth
It's
that.
never worth it. Now you.
What kind of clout?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Also, I don't want to do nothing that James Cameron has already done 30 times, bro.
Yeah,
Who
man,
am I as a
for
rich
real,
person?
For real. I'll watch the Titanic again. Apparently he's already been down there.
Yeah, bro, what are you talking about?
Oh, this looks crazy. What is this?
Why that one nigga look like ASAP?
Don't ever badmouth ASAP.
Oh, man, I'm
It's
trying to
Tom
watch
Holland,
that.
Crowder,
The Tom
bro.
Holland.
The last scary movie he was kind of in, I don't know if this is a scary movie or not. It was ass.
The Devil All the Time?
Yeah.
I liked that movie because
was
it
long.
wasn't supposed to be scary. It was more just like, so he doesn't play in scary stuff. He plays in like psychological things because he's got a really good unsuspecting small white boy build where you're like, this guy's ain't doing nothing scary or like dangerous, and then he kills 3 people and you're like, okay, yeah, like maybe we
So
should
should
watch
I watch
him.
it again? I got halfway through it and I was like, I don't know about this.
I say give The Devil All the Time a little bit more of your time, just because the
Yikes.
fuck off. Only because the movie is more about like dead ass. You know those movies where it's like everything is going to go wrong for the main character. Like he is not a bad guy, but everything is going to go wrong. That's basically what it's about.
Damn.
Like he's just trying to get back home. Like everything,
Trying to find my way back home.
everything bad just keeps happening.
That's hella funny. All right, moving on. So I wanted to talk about this because I was listening to this podcast and they were talking about this guy and how he did this interview. And in an interview, he was like, at the point I'm at in my life now, there's a lot of things I wish I did differently. There's a lot of people who I wish I helped out. Calm demeanor, really great guy. Doesn't seem like he'd hurt a fly. Interview came off great, very supportive of women and everything else like that. And then his baby mama came out and was like, we got to stop giving people a break just because of how they appear on social media and in interviews. Because, what he said in his interview was great, but what he left out is all the times he cheated on me, all the times that, my mother was downstairs and maybe had a threesome with some random women and,
That is crazy.
That is crazy. I'm crying, bro. It's like, niggas are unhinged. Niggas are unhinged.
Bro, what is going on?
She said, all the trauma you put me and my daughter through, all of her kids and all of that. How you try to blackball. Pretty much was like, don't let this man just have a calm demeanor online and say some nice words and think you guys know who he is because he's not a nice person.
So don't let him play that.
Yeah. Which kind of brings me to this topic that we're getting ready to discuss. And it's, do you think we do that a lot? Where we really run with how people present themselves during interviews and the questions they answer and how they do that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
I don't. Personally, I don't believe any of that shit. Like, J. Cole.
Oh.
This is like one of my biggest one of my biggest conspiracies. I have no idea what it is, but J. Cole did something. I don't know what it is. It could have been stealing a pair of sunglasses when he was like 13, but he did it. Whatever it is, and he's just not going to talk about it.
Yeah.
And like, unless J. Cole becomes more eccentric, I don't know if I could trust him.
I mean, yeah.
Like, yeah, sure, he's dropped knowledge. He's never said anything wrong. Why hasn't he said anything wrong?
Yeah, I am always weary about those people because I can't be out here. Bro, listen, when the podcast takes off and they go, you got any dirty laundry? I think it's our opportunity to get ahead of it.
Absolutely.
Let them know.
I'm going to say it all.
Let him know. Let him know. Let him know, all right? You just got to. Because when he comes back later, he'll be like, I already told y'all.
Yeah.
You know
Straight
what I mean?
up.
Talk about, hey, I'm not even going to give y'all examples. Nah. But
when the episode comes out, you'll know.
yeah, for real. But I agree with you. Why are you so nice?
Yeah.
You really, because it's like she said, she goes, you cannot be thinking these people are so perfect because you're not actually with them. Right? And I was like, that makes a lot of sense because I'll listen to podcasts or music or interviews or whatever it is, whatever content I'm consuming. And a lot of time I do go, they're probably a nice guy. Look at how calm and, they really broke down this seems very thorough. Like, you know what you're talking about. But she's right. I don't fucking know this person. Like, obviously, the murderer is not going to come on and be like, yeah, when I was beating her ass before I killed her, it was just one of those things. Like, they're not going to do that. But they are going to come on there and be like,
I be chilling.
Vibing.
Yes, bro.
Let me drive the boat. No? All right. So, yeah, when it comes to things like that, it is very, because, you can apply it to your friends as well. Because all the time, we're not these people. We don't know what they're really going on, right? Yeah. That's why I think after a while, I had to become comfortable with, like, sharing my location. Because I'm like, at least now people can, like, know where I'm at. And if somebody ever goes, Luigi did this or that, you can be like, nah, I don't know. Let me check.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's become a new, because before, if a girl was like, oh, we should share location. Girl, please. You're overstepping your boundaries. You're doing too much.
I only share my location with my friends.
Yeah, same. And I do that now. Because even before, like, I know I made it like a relationship thing. It was across the board. Why you got to know where I'm at? Don't worry about me.
I'm dead.
You know what I mean? But it really does come down to,
and then this man got kidnapped in another country, and we're like, okay, now you might want to reconsider that.
I know, for real. For real. But now, again, it does add that level of, if somebody goes, yo, man, Luigi was out robbing last night, you could at least be like, yeah, see, I can at least.
Yeah, I'm like, hey.
Don't do that. What the fuck was that? Yo, what? That's insane.
I was like, hey, hold on a second. How could you say that?
Oh, yeah, okay. But I don't know. It's just one of those things because I do have friends who are like, no, I need to move as private as possible. No one can ever know what I'm up to. Honestly, bro, if somebody tells me you killed somebody, I can't really say you didn't do it.
Yes.
I just can't because I don't. What was he then? Oh, I don't know.
Too nice.
What were they doing? I don't know.
Too nice with no record.
Yeah.
How am I supposed to know?
How am I supposed to know you're not out here committing crimes?
Man, it's like Jonathan Majors. Everybody thought he was a nice guy.
Hey.
I mean, allegedly.
Hey, man, be careful with that. Because you realize I stopped talking about that entire situation because the more and more I find out about it and the more and more this man's back out in publicity, the more I'm like, I gotta no. Can't even address this nigga. You just can't.
That alone.
You can't because no one knows what's going on. Disney pushed back the movie releases by a whole year.
All of them.
Which tells me.
That was like, damn.
Which tells me. You know what it tells me?
They're about the right amount.
No. It tells me they're letting this thing blow over. If Disney was going to write them out, they would have wrote them out. And they would have put that in the statement. They would have never put out a statement they're pushing, because they would have said we were considering some options and whatever. Just saying you're pushing it back tells me you're giving this some time to blow over or to be, to be done with.
I mean, it's really difficult for me to believe a media company won't take a bag. Like, even The Flash, they literally set a very specific set of stipulations. WB was like, look, if your name is in the news, in court, for some shit, before we drop this movie, we're not fucking advertising anything. And he was in the news the week before the release.
In court. Doing shit
he's not supposed to do. And they were like,
I guess we can add Batman to the trailer. That is what they did.
No, they did even worse than that. I was in a movie theater, and it's actually really funny. You know how in the movies they have the movie, like the now playing posters just all over the place? And they have like, yeah, here's who's in the movie, here's who produced the movie, the release date. That shit just says The Flash. There are no actors listed on there at all.
Damn.
It doesn't say any words.
Damn.
That shit just is like and it looks scary. Like, it's like there's like a big open gap. And it's like The Flash, gap, like wasteland, and just him. And it's like his back. I was like, they did you, bro.
Yeah.
They said you're not in this movie.
Yeah.
Don't.
He was at the premiere, though.
We put the movie.
Or they were at the premiere.
They were at the premiere, but then the shit happened because he was in court. He wasn't arrested, but he had to go to court for some of the shit that he already did, and he was found guilty. But that was like their whole thing was they're like, you can come to the premiere, but we're not about to be out here being like, hey, Ezra's here, guys.
Yeah.
Like, literally only the fucking media outlets were like, hey, Ezra's here. Fucking WB was like, yeah, we know.
You mean The Flash?
Yeah, they're like, yeah, The Flash is here. Yeah, George Clooney's here too. Don't forget about that.
Yeah, no, really. Which, yeah, again, we see these people on TV, on camera, and doing all these things. We don't really know them. So, again, let's try to keep that in mind. Anyway, wrapping this up.
And that ties back into not letting your online personality do too much.
Yeah, or your real life personality do too much.
They should be the same person, and honestly, they should both be cool. Like, don't be out here doing too much.
So let's wrap this up. Talk about some Seattle news now.
Pride.
Weekend.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
There's going to be a bunch of events, a bunch of random stuff. So, like, tomorrow, the Seattle Center is doing, like, an all-day Pride event. What's today? Friday? Saturday? Friday. Yeah, so a lot of stuff tonight, tomorrow is going to be, like, bars and shit like that. There should also be a parade. I think it'll either be tomorrow or Sunday. But yeah.
What are your top 2 do's and don'ts during Pride weekend for everyone?
Don't
wear jock straps with nothing to cover.
Hey, honestly, do whatever you want to do.
No,
but we're not.
I'm against that.
Do whatever you want to do, but
I'm
we're
against
not.
that.
But we're not at a rave every day. Like, another thing is, too, in your situation, that was, like, something different. This is not, like, during Pride weekend. Like, during Pride weekend, yeah, like, go to an event where you can show off the straps, the fucking, all of that crazy shit. But as Luigi pointed out, you don't got to be doing that shit, like, all over the place in the grocery store and shit like
And
that. Like,
it's not you don't have to be doing that. I just think there are some spaces that everyone is going to be in, not just me. I don't need to catch your ass waft or ass, like when you're wafting because you don't have enough covering and like the fucking ass air is getting all over the place and it happens to be in a grocery store, that bothers me. Is all I'm saying. I brought this up to somebody and
this
they said,
isn't kink shaming. This isn't fashion shaming. It's not
somebody brought it up
talking
and
about
goes,
your
would you have felt the
sexuality.
same way if it was a woman in her underwear? And yes, completely. You missed the point. The point of what I said was, I don't want your ass air on my fruits.
And honestly, here's the deal. It does happen all the time, actually, with women, and I'm not saying like I'm out here just seeing everybody's ass out, but I'm saying there are times when you can tell that there are some things going on and there's a little bit too much airflow, and I'm not trying to deal with all that.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who you are. There's a reason why when I start smelling rank, I start putting more clothes on. Like even if it makes me more hot, I know that it's at least trapped inside.
Yo. And the other part of that for me too is aesthetics.
Yeah.
Make it look good.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's not necessarily the gender or what it is that you're showing. You have to make it look good.
Yeah. Like
Do not have your bare ass out if it looks like a fucking hairball.
And
That's
I'm
ridiculous.
sorry. Like maybe I am kink shaming or whatever. Like obviously I'm not a straight individual. I am out here, I do what I do. I'm queer. But like something that's never been a thing that's hot to me is like leather vest, but like fucking jock strap.
Yo, yeah.
Like you're like not wearing pants, but you're wearing quite possibly the hottest upper body accessory you could be wearing. Like, what is this doing for anybody?
No, so again, and for me, make it look good.
Yeah,
Make
and
it
that
look
shit doesn't
good.
look good either.
It
You look
doesn't-
like a toddler.
I guess that's again, like you said, represent yourself however you want to, but there's always that fine line of you want to make it look good at least. If you're
Yeah.
especially going to be out in public, and place and time
Yeah.
is all I'm saying. Obviously, I know there's no obviously. Pick up the alcohol before you're on your way to whatever event you're going to, so you're not out in public in your jaw strap at the fucking grocery store.
Yeah.
I'm just, you know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. And people are like, again, like, would you feel the same way if it was like something you actually? I'm like, when I'm at the grocery store, what I actually want are groceries.
Yeah. Like if I went to the grocery store and they're like, we're having a Girls Gone Wild wet t-shirt contest, I'd be like, do that shit outside.
Yeah.
Like I'm dead ass. I just don't want it in the grocery store.
I just don't want it in the grocery store.
Like, come on,
Now
dude.
I'm
This
slipping
is
and
not
sliding everywhere.
Hooters.
Like, that's all I'm saying.
It's slipping sliding.
But Pride weekend, I think I went out last Pride weekend that we had in Seattle. It's always a good time. You
It's
always
a
meet
good time
incredible people.
for cheap fruity drinks.
That is true.
Yeah.
And usually just like they had that big outdoor like concert last year, didn't they?
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah,
I had a
that
real
was
good
tight.
time there. Yeah, that was a real good time. Yeah. So it's always a good time. I think you guys should definitely go and explore. Maybe it'll open your mind up to something you didn't realize. Maybe it'll stop you from being, crazy against queer people. You never know. Go out and explore. Definitely stay inside if you don't think you'll get over your
phobia.
Yeah, your phobia. Like really, really, please. Like it'd be scary to hear of something terrible happening this weekend.
Yeah, bro. Especially because of how Seattle's been acting.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I am not trying to hear that.
Again, we always say we're a lot more conservative than we're giving credit for, and some shit just happened at the gorge. Like people are scary, so let's all be safe this weekend. What else?
And don't do drugs if you can't handle them. That dude at the gorge was on mushrooms, and that's why he did that. And I was like,
Yeah,
you
that's
came here to
crazy.
do drugs, and you couldn't even do them.
That's crazy. That's insane. Talking about Pride weekend, let's talk about Starbucks.
Yeah.
I know this is probably closing all doors we could have ever opened with Starbucks, but it is what it is. What's going on with Starbucks?
So, Starbucks is apparently, in an effort to stop their stores from being vandalized, because they support the LGBTQ, they've decided to not support the LGBTQ by not decorating for Pride Month. Which is something that they've like kind of done in the past, if I'm not mistaken.
Or you mean what? Taking stuff out the stores or representing for the queer community?
Yeah, like representing for the queer community. Like they've definitely done that.
That's been
before.
a
Like
big part of their brand.
Yeah, like they're a Seattle brand, so they're into everything that Seattle's into until the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Because Seattle said that they weren't into unions, and that's where Starbucks drew the line.
Yeah.
And they're kind of just like taking that into every other like thing that happens. Like every time something happens at Starbucks, they're like, yeah, we could just do without that.
Yeah.
And we're like, I don't know if like just not doing it is the solution. Maybe doing the things that you're doing better is probably a better way to do it. But yeah, basically a bunch of their employees are like, the stores are explicitly saying not to put up things that would put the stores in danger, is how they're putting it.
Yeah.
And they're like, so what's putting the store in danger about a gay flag?
Your gay
basically.
flags, obviously.
Yeah, and they're like, well, man, motherfuckers are burning down buildings with gay flags. And they're like, but where, though?
Yeah.
And they're like, in Florida. And motherfuckers in Seattle are like, okay, like, that's not here, though. So, like what's going on? And they're like, well, you still can't have unions, though.
That is kind of funny.
And it's like kind of like a weird combination of, it's like at my job. I was telling some people, like, you got to figure out what you want to complain about, right? Yeah. Like, if you have an issue with the way management is running, complain about the problems. Don't complain about the person. They'll just replace the person. They don't give a fuck about that.
Yeah.
And it won't solve anything for you.
If not, make it worse. Because now this new person got to take on whatever else is going on.
And they have to do exactly what the company says.
Yeah.
So what are we going to do then? That's basically what Starbucks is at right now. Their entire company is like, pick your battle. Do you want to be gay or do you want to have a union? And they're like, we kind of want both. And they're like, surprise, surprise, both are the wrong answer.
That's insane. That is actually insane.
And so they're like, whatever's going to keep us getting our bag out of these stupid Americans, that's what we want.
Yeah.
And so like if it's a Democratic president we have to support, we'll do that. But if it's not putting up gay flags in the store so that we don't get Bud Lighted,
we'll do that.
We'll do that.
Yeah. Which that whole Bud Light situation is ridiculous. One beer can.
Motherfuckers are still out here like still won't drink it. You're like, okay, bro.
It goes to show you guys, one, your dedication to being an alcoholic, which is not very high, because come on. You know what I mean? Come on. I ain't going to let no picture of no beer can stop me from getting drunk. I can tell you that right now.
They could be like, we decided to put Asa Akira's asshole on every can, on the lid. And I'd be like, that's crazy.
Yeah. Which I'm sure a lot of guys will actually like that. Even though, not that she as a person is dated, but her porn career is dated.
Yeah.
She podcasts now. Go follow her podcast.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. She makes merch. That's
with her butthole?
Yeah. Her asshole is literally like one of her like signature
I need to see that.
things. You go look up Asa Akira butthole hat.
I'm going to do that incognito because I don't want to start getting ads for butthole shirts.
There was a dude that was in our fraternity in college that had one.
Butthole hats.
Asa Akira.
I don't like that. It's just Asa Akira asshole. And it's like all the porn sites. I'm not going to find this hat for
I'll find it.
That was crazy.
I'll find it. I'll send it to you.
The search results for that were insane. I ain't going to lie to you. But anyway, last weekend I went to this event called Curated Vibes, which is, I'm going to call it like it is. It is a black event for, the black community here in Seattle, but it's really an African event, if I'm going to be completely honest. That's what they play. That's the music they play. That's really who was there. You know what I mean? So it was really, and like being from the Caribbean, I kind of felt out of place because, again, like not all black cultures just blend in immediately, right?
Yeah,
so,
and even though all niggas may come from Africa, that's not actually what we're all into.
So it was me and the homie he was just, born here, raised here. So we're just there. I had a mesh tank top on, a denim jacket, some Dickies, and some Chelsea boots on. So I looked good. I was showing a little chest, a little nipple. You know what it is. My man just had a regular shirt on, some jeans, and his Timbs. Clearly looked out of place. But what was crazy was I knew people there, but we didn't really enter because again the experience itself. Even though we're black people, I was like, I don't really know if I belong here. But what I really wanted to talk about is no shade to them. I had a really good time still. The drinks were oddly cheap. My only thing that came down with that was, again, like, I always thought these events where you would go and kind of network as a black person, and you know, I always thought it was a little bit more classy. If I'm being honest, it was just another party, give or take, good or bad, however you want to feel about that. It legit just was another party with a lot of black and African people playing African amapiano music. If I'm being,
Hey,
you know what I mean.
and good for them.
It is good for them, but I guess this kind of goes back to even, you know, the women's sports bar we went to that one time. My expectations from what I thought it was going to be like was just a little bit different. I did think, which when we first got there and it wasn't that packed yet, people were sitting down and talking and, you know, acting out like that. But then it just turned into any other party anywhere else.
Yeah.
So a couple hours before it ended, I looked at the homie. I was like, honestly, bro, I'm good.
I had me
Like,
some food and I'm
yeah,
out.
knowing I've somebody I knew there. I'm not even gonna talk about that. But anyway, that wraps it up for me, bro. I ain't got nothing else to talk about. My voice is getting strained.
Yeah, I'm getting to the point where the sweat is starting to build up. These fucking lights, it's getting to me. I'm hot.
And with that,
I'm hot. I'm injured. I'm tired. I'm not
Oh my
actually that
gosh.
tired. I'm about to go do some shit.
I feel
Maybe.
that.
I don't know. But yeah,
it's been another episode.
Thanks again for joining us.
Yeah.
We're gonna try to do some fun shit here coming up in these next couple of episodes. So
Like
stay
what?
tuned. Them ads, remember?
Oh, I was like, what?
Yeah.
Never heard of this. But all
This
right,
guy's like, we're not doing shit. No.
we out.
Have a good one.